Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface. Now, I know we've had a couple of AzChats very close together, not something that I normally do, but there is an elephant in the room and it's been discussed on my stream recently, and I've seen it also discussed on a couple of other channels now, and I've got to have my say. While it's current, I was going to keep quiet until we got a little bit more word from Blizz, but I think it's time now to actually say my piece. Now then, in November we had BlizzCon. And with BlizzCon we had the announcement of Warlords of Draenor, something that I was actually very, very excited about indeed. The informations that they gave at the conference, to me, felt very positive. I was very happy with what was kind of being mentioned. I enjoyed the features of the item squish. You know, bringing down all the HP numbers, bringing down all the damage numbers, but still retaining your strength. You don't get any weaker against older content whatsoever. You're still as strong as you ever were, but there's just an item squish down to make things a little bit more manageable. And let's face it, that's not a bad thing. If you think about it logistically, logically, the smaller the numbers are, the practicalities of it suppose that the balance of the game could be better. So that's a great thing. Then we had of course, the garrisons, which is my personal favourite to date. As good as the Tillers was, and I actually tout the Tillers as one of the few successes in Mists of Pandaria. At the end of the day, it was simply Farmville. It was a farm, and I enjoyed it while it lasted, but that content for me ended a long, long time ago. I don't think I can remember the last time that I actually gardened in there. But the garrisons, it's not just a farm, it's not just a building, it's a whole freaking village almost that you get to look after. You get your own NPCs, you can send them out to do quests, to do dungeons, scenarios, raids. And it's got all manner of stuff. I could go into it. If you want to hear more about the garrisons, of course, you can look on my channel and watch my garrisons video. We then had the character model revamps, and I'm not going to wail. I'm not going to, insult the current character models. All I'm going to say is the current character models look as they are, which is nearly 10 years old. And let's face it, there has been some unbelievable leaps and bounds in the gaming industry in the last decade. So yes, they look as they are, and that is nearly 10 years old. So having the character models revamped is something that's pretty awesome. It's going to give a whole new, I think, feel and lease of life and freshness to the World of Warcraft when you just tangibly, physically view it. And that's got to be a good thing. To look at it on fresh eyes again, that's no bad thing whatsoever. We've got, to me, a very interesting storyline going on Draenor with a little bit of time travel thrown in for good measure. We've got the item level going up to level 100, and that's not a bad thing as well. I think it allows a lot more development within the questing system. I think it leads to a lot more development within the storytelling system, and I think we've had a little bit of that pulled away on the leveling up process in the last two expansions. And then let me get to the elephant in the room. One of the very, very interesting things that was announced was an instant, immediate upgrade of a character of your choosing, of any level, straight to level 90. So you can actually create a character from scratch, from level 1, press a button, boom, that character is now level 90. And I had a lot of people asking me on my stream, and I mean a lot of people asking me on my stream, what will I be doing? Now, I've currently got 8 level 90 characters. The 3 classes which I do not have at maximum level are a monk, a shaman, and a druid. Now, a shaman and a druid I've not even touched, really. I've had a little dabble with them, maybe up to level 20 at maximum. And a monk, I've got a monk currently at level 42. I thought I'd just keep it there for all the 80s fans out there. So I have had a little bit more play with a monk, but I kind of like leaving the druid to one side because that's the character. It is a class which interests me rather a lot, druid, and something that I'd like to do some research into, and that's the character that I want to boost to level 90. So I was very excited by this, not just because you get an immediate level 90, but I thought this was a great marketing ploy Okay? Now, you can say all these things about easy mode with the game and whatnot. I don't think that was an easy mode ploy, personally. I think it was a ploy to say to people, look, we're trying to go in a different direction and we want you to come on board immediately for that direction. We don't want you to feel bogged down by the old X packs that you have to go through them. We want you to experience Warlords of Draenor, our new direction, that's going to hopefully lead on to multiple more X packs right now. And I thought that was a great way to appeal to brand new players. And then, of course, you have returning players to the World of Warcraft who maybe have lost a little bit of love for their current character. You know, maybe somebody plays a Warlock and they're just like, look, I just don't feel it anymore. I just don't feel the Warlock anymore. And it's my only top-level character, or it's my only high-level character, and I really can't be bothered to go back through the whole levelling up process. I understand and I can empathise with that. So with Blizzard saying, look, well, here you go. You can zap any character of your choosing, any class of your choosing, race, faction, whatever, straight to level 90, start Warlords of Draenor, day one with the rest of us. Oh, again, fantastic. Somebody could go, well, do you know what? Yeah, I do have that interest in a warrior. I do have that interest in a rogue, in a paladin, etc, etc. So I personally thought, yeah, sure, there's some sort of tease there, you know, to get people back, but it's a business at the end of the day. But I do think there was a semi, I don't know what percentage we can put on it, but I'm going to give Blizzard the benefit of the doubt here, and I'm going to say there was some sort of altruistic tendency there. I do think there was some altruistic tendency to say, come on, come back. Yeah, come back. Let's play together. And I thought that was rather cool. Now then, oh, this is where things get a little bit wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, because I've kind of like thrown my weight behind Warlords of Draenor in support at the moment, because I think all the noises that are coming out of it are positive and they are good. And I do think they could potentially lead to great things with WoW. And I really do hope so. I sincerely hope so. WoW's been in the doldrums for a little bit, and it needs that shot in the arm. But I do think there is a massive, massive problem at Blizzard. I do. And I can't quite put my finger where exactly it is, but I do think one of the facets of it is communication. I think there is a serious lack of communication within Blizzard Entertainment at the moment, and I'll tell you for why. All those things that I've just mentioned have been announced as key features of the release for Warlords of Draenor. Just like we've had key features announced before. Sometimes they come to pass, sometimes they don't. The dance studio for Wrath of the Lich King never came to pass, sadly. But it was announced as a key feature, as a potential key feature. They couldn't quite get it to work, so it was pulled. Fair dues. Path of the Titans, the same. That was going to be brought in for Wrath of the Lich King. Poor Wrath of the Lich King. That was going to be brought in for Wrath of the Lich King, but again, didn't quite work, so it was shelved. Level 30 guilds in Mists of Pandaria. That was going to come in. But again, they thought maybe we're just doing it for the sake of doing it. And it was never even implemented on the beta. Never. We never even got to see if we could test that stuff out. It was just shelved. And they were kept at level 25. So sometimes things just don't come to pass. And we can absolutely understand it. It's the same with abilities and talents. Remember, Cataclysm was a warlord talent. Was a warlock talent brought in patch 5.1 PTR. But it never came onto the live servers. It didn't quite work as they wanted it to work, but it will be coming back in Warlords of Draenor as a level 100 talent for the Warlock, and it has had a retweak, and it does sound rather cool. So sometimes things just don't come to pass. This, though, is something slightly different. In actual fact, it almost seems a shot in the foot. Now, I don't know who is not communicating with whom in Blizzard, but please, guys, something has to be sorted out, and I'll tell you for why. Because this was back in November at BlizzCon, okay? And then at the beginning of January, a survey by Blizz was sent to a small group of people. Now then, it doesn't matter if this group of people are small, large, medium, it doesn't matter one thing. We are living in the age of the internet. We are living in the age of open communication. I can't take a piss in my toilet without somebody reporting on it in the internet. You know what I mean? It's like that. You can't sneeze nowadays without somebody posting something about it on the internet. You know, that's just the way it is. It's an open communication forum. Regardless of how many secrets, confidentiality, all that kind of stuff that we try and have nowadays doesn't quite work because we live in the open age of the internet. Elder Scrolls Online, it's covered by an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. But videos have been posted. Videos have been pulled, but you can still torrent them. You can still get them like that. You can still see footage of the game. So no matter how many controls you try to put on things, stuff gets out. And Blizzard sent out a email survey to a small group of people, and it's now common knowledge. Now, this survey, to me, had some very, I'm going to say disappointing. Not upsetting, I think that's getting a little bit too far, taken a bit too serious. But it had some very disappointing information in it. Now, the survey was about the price of Warlords of Draenor. No big deal. Okay, I can understand that. You know, we live in an age of inflation. Is it going to be the same price as the old Warlords of Draenor? Is it going to be slightly more? You know what? But it wasn't quite that was the major topic of the price change. The survey asked whether or not people would be willing to pay $39 or $49 for Warlords of Draenor with this level 90 boost. It was then asked whether or not you'd be willing to pay $39 for Warlords of Draenor without the level 90 boost. There was another question within this survey that asked people, what do you think a fair price would be for this level 90 boost? Now then, let me just put you this into context. At BlizzCon, this level 90 was introduced as a feature of Warlords of Draenor, just like they've introduced other features. The way that it was brought in, the way that it was discussed, the way that it was perceived is that it was part of the purchasing process. So if Warlords of Draenor comes out at $20, $30, $40, $50, that level 90 boost is actually part and parcel of it. Just like the leveling up to level 100. Just like the new content, the new quests, the new zones, the new everything, the new raids, the new dungeons, the new scenarios, yada, 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 yada. It is all part of Warlords of Draenor. Now it looks like they're trying to see if they can, well, for want of a better phrase, it's YouTube monetize this level 90 boost. Now, if people are put on the survey, well, you know, I'd be willing to pay $49 for it if it came with the level 90 boost. You're still paying for the level 90 boost because they're clearly poking the stick at you, saying, look, well, we can sell this for 40 quid, you know. I mean, we easily sell this for 40 quid. Probably like the other X packs. But no, they are trying to attempt to get away with monetizing on a feature of Warlords of Draenor. Is it because it's come across as popular with people? You know? Have people thought to themselves, oh, that's great, that's a great idea. A lot of buzz about it on the internet. Have Blizzard said, oh, you know, should we see if we can make a buck off this? And that is just every single solitary kind of wrong. Now, they have, of course, recently introduced the shop feature, in-game shop feature. We've got the Blizz store, but they've now introduced this in-game shop feature. And if you play in the Far East, in Asia, you can actually purchase things like EXP boosts. And the reason why they do that is because they have a completely different subscription model from how we have here. We pay monthly. They don't. They pay by the hour. Yes. They pay by the hour over in the Far East. So things like EXP boosts could work really well for them. So if somebody can only play for 3 hours or so once in a blue moon, then that EXP boost is going to help them, at least with some sort of catch-up mechanic. So you can kind of understand it because it's a completely different subscription model. But if Blizzard are now thinking, wow, what about if we slide this level 90 boost onto the Blizz store? Onto the in-game Blizz, onto the in-game Blizz store. Say, look, okay, Warlords of Draenor's coming out at $39.99, and if you want, you can spend another $9-10 getting yourself an immediate upgrade to level 90 to go alongside Warlords of Draenor. Ouch. And then if they release Warlords of Draenor at $49.99 or whatever it is, $50 with the level 90 boost, well, they've already demonstrated they can clearly sell the game for $10 cheaper, ergo that is $10 for the level 90. So this is not a free level 90 at all. This is a level 90 that's going to come at some cost. Now, if Blizzard decide to release Warlords of Draenor at $39 with the level 90 upgrade, fine. That seems fair, because that would have been the set price for the normal edition anyway, most likely, regardless of surveys or not. And of course, the level 90, which was touted at BlizzCon as one of the features of Warlords of Draenor, is incorporated within that. But if it does come out at any different price, or it doesn't come with Warlords of Draenor and gets slipped on to the Blizz store, then that to me is just an abuse of trust. Absolute out and out abuse of trust. Because you have said something, you have intimated, you have definitely given us the perception that this was part of the process of Warlords of Draenor. Now, a couple of months later, I don't know, like I said, whether it's due to popularity or whatnot, you're deciding that you might just make a quick buck. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Now then, this is not to say that this will come to pass. This is a survey. But if this survey has gone out, then obviously there is communication within Blizzard about it. And this is where we get back to the element of communication. If the communication at Blizzard is tight, then why are you announcing a key feature and then 2 months later trying to sell that key feature for additional money? That seems to be very wrong to me. That seems to me as if they always had the intention of monetizing this feature, if they always had the intention of making it a purchasable feature on the Blizz store or on the in-game shop or wherever they were going to put it, then that would have actually been announced at BlizzCon. Say, look, this is Warlords of Draenor. One of the things that we're looking to do in Warlords of Draenor to go alongside with the new Blizz store, which has, the in-game mounts, is we're going to give you the option for a nominal fee. They could have sold it that way, where you can get a character boosted straight to level 90. One character per account, so you can't do too much, but that'll allow you to get straight into the action from day one. But of course, that would be relatively unpopular, wouldn't it? If you say, look, you've got to pay for the game, but by the way, you get paying for something else. So to me, at BlizzCon, it was always, even with the guys on the panel, they were always under the impression that that was part and parcel of Warlords of Draenor. And somewhere in the last 2 months, somebody has made a decision to actually maybe monetize this. Maybe they can make a little bit more money off of this feature. Now, I'm going to go slightly into another angle here. Not only is this bad PR, not only is this abysmal marketing, oh my god, it's just unbelievable marketing, but you have just had 2 expansions which haven't gone down well, and sadly they've been back to back. You had the highs of Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, and then you had the slight tapering off, not massive tapering off, but you had a slight tapering off with Cataclysm, which lost about 18% overall, if that, 17% of subscribers over its life. It went from about 11 mil down to about 9 mil, 9.1 mil. And then, of course, we've had the hemorrhaging of subscribers in Warlords of Draenor, which have seen the WoW sub numbers been slashed by 25%, just 24%, just short of a quarter of all WoW subscribers have vanished in this expat. And that's got to say something. That's got to say that the community is not happy with the product which has been put out. So you are in a difficult predicament as a company. You are in a precarious position as a company. You're not only wanting to get people back to your game, but you're wanting to build the trust of the community back into your game. You're not just saying, look, come back, and people come back going, this is still bollocks, fuck off, Blizzard. They're not trying to do that. They're trying to say, look, we're going down a new avenue now. You know, we're going down a new avenue, and this avenue that we're going down is going to lead on to other X-Packs. You know, this is going to be a great way for you to come back into the World of Warcraft. So it's not just trying to get people back, but it's trying to gain their trust to stay with the product. That's what it's trying to do. But if you are announcing key features at your conference, the conference dedicated to your company, where you do your massive announcements, and then within a couple of months you flip-flop on one of those key features and say, actually, let's see if we can make a buck off it, how much trust are you going to put into the community then? How much trust? How much are you showing to your loyal customers as is? Never mind the people that are going to come back. You know, if people had watched BlizzCon and were tempted to come back and were just like, yeah, this level 90 feature, that's brilliant. I'll buy a copy of Warlords, I'll get myself a level 90 mage, and I'll be set. And now that person who was contemplating coming back is just like, whoa, hang on a minute. So now you're saying I'm actually going to have to pay more for the game because you actually want to stick an inbuilt cost for the level character, for level 90 character, or now you're saying to me, I can buy it, but I'm not going to get the level 90 character. Maybe it's going to be on a higher version of the game. You know, I can buy the basic edition for $39. I can buy the level 90 edition for $49, and I can buy the collector's edition, because there'll no doubt be a collector's edition, for $59. Whatever the price is they're going to set it at. And then they're saying, and if I want that level 90, I'm going to have to pay another $10. Wow. You're just immediately saying two fingers up to that one-time subscriber who was contemplating coming back. You're just saying, oh, you know that trust? You know that feature that we tried, we hooked you in with? Oh, by the way, open your wallet, give us more money, and you can have it. Oh, man, that is... to me, it's marketing suicide. Marketing suicide. It really is. And I don't know which way to turn. I genuinely do not know which way to turn, because I've been I have got behind Blizzard with Warlords. I think there's some great stuff to be done here. But this shit, oh my god. Seriously? Really? I mean, look. You've lost a quarter, 25% of your customer base in the last 12 months with your latest offering of an expansion. And the way that you try and lure customers to return to your game is by what seems to be tricking them with a feature that appeared to be part and parcel of your upcoming expansion, but is in fact behind the scenes being potentially worked as an additional cost. Wow. That, I will say again, that to me just absolutely reeks to high heaven. Just stinks. Absolutely stinks. And who is the person that allows that to go out into the general public, knowing that it's going to be news, knowing that is not going to be kept between the small, inverted commas, however many people it went to, the small amount of people that it got sent to. That was of course going to get blown straight onto the big sites. You wowheads, your MMO champs, your internets, your YouTubers like myself. Of course it's going to come out to us. And how are you going to look? I'll tell you how you're going to look, Blizzard. You're just going to come across as a bunch of money grabbers that has got absolutely zero respect for their customer base. Not even going to go into community, for their customer base. Because this feature has clearly been sold at BlizzCon as an element of Warlords of Draenor, as part of the purchasing Warlords of Draenor, not as a $10 paywall on top of purchasing the next expansion. The very idea that the marketing department, or whichever department deals with it in Blizz, would send this out, and to a small member of the, to a small number in the community. I tell you what, if you really want to know what the community feels, why wasn't it sent to all the community? Why wasn't it sent to all your subscribers? Hey guys, look, we're having a thought here, and we're thinking about sticking in additional costs to Warlords of Draenor. How's that going to go down? Well, yeah, if you put it that way, I think we all know how the community would react if you sent it to a vast proportion of it, as opposed to a tinsy-wincy little bit. Am I overacting about it? But I personally just think, oh dear. I just think this is just every kind of wrong. Every kind of wrong imaginable. If the idea or the plan behind it was to stick a cost on this feature, then it had to be announced at BlizzCon that this is a potential payable feature and an additional payable benefit for Warlords of Draenor players. There you've got your X-Pack, but we're thinking about toying with some ideas for the Blizz store, and one of them is to actually put an Insta level 90, one per account. You had to do it that way. If you wanted to have customer loyalty, if you wanted to have customer confidence and belief in your company, transparency, that's what you had to do. If that was always the plan. But if it wasn't the plan, and this was a plan that came about after BlizzCon, when you realised the interest that this feature was going to bring, then, well, I think that just dissolves trust. That just dissolves trust, because what you're trying to say is, ooh, anything that you might like, we could potentially stick a cost on. I'm not even going to go into the argument of pay to win. I'm not even going to touch that argument of pay to win, because like I said, I for once put my cynicism aside, and I believe there was some sort of altruistic idea behind the level 90, bringing people back into WoW, bringing people back into the community. I thought it was a wonderful, wonderful gesture. And now it's as far from altruistic. It's as far from altruistic as can be. Now it looks like that you want to capitalise on it, and that dissolves trust. And if people do not trust you, then how on earth do you expect them to come back? And I think that's very sad indeed, because I think some guys at BlizzCon did some great work selling Warlords of Draenor and selling those features. And I don't know if it's the marketing department, wherever it's come from, with these ideas, but I think a lot of it's making me shake my head in disbelief. Put it that way. But Let me know what you think in the comments below. Am I overreacting? You know I get very passionate about my AzChats. Am I overreacting about this? Or is this an abuse of trust by Blizzard? Do you feel this is an abuse of trust? Do you feel as if they have identified a key feature within Warlords of Draenor that people have latched onto and have decided to monetize it, decided to try and make a quick buck from that? And how does that make you feel as either a potential resubscriber to the World of Warcraft or as a current subscriber to the World of Warcraft? I mean, of course, you know, I've got 8 level 90s as is. I personally don't necessarily have to have another level 90. Just would be nice. It's just like everything, just would be nice. Just would be, like I said, a nice gesture, a cool thing, a chance for me to explore a completely different class without having to go through all the leveling up process. Just like they did with the recruiter friend. Resurrection Scroll. You know, get a friend back into World of Warcraft. But the way that this poll has gone out, now seeing if they can make some money from it, it just stinks to high heaven for me. Just stinks. But again, let me know what you think. And I really hope that you enjoyed the vid. So please do like, comment, absolutely comment, and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and also twitch.tv/heel versus babyface for live streaming. I shall be back, as ever, with some more stuff very soon. So you take care, everybody. Bye-bye.